Have you ever wondered what it's like to face the biggest challenge of your life with just one hand? Today, you're going to meet a young mom who turned every fear into courage, and her story will leave you in awe. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more incredible real-life stories. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single moment. Cassidy Moreno grew up in a small town in Alberta, Canada, facing a challenge most people couldn't even imagine. Born with cerebral palsy affecting the right side of her body, she had to learn from the start how to manage even the simplest tasks. As a child, Cassidy spent countless hours in therapy, learning to shower herself, dress, and walk without help. Her right arm was weak, almost frozen at a strange angle, making even brushing her hair a complicated puzzle. But Cassidy didn't let her disability define her. She learned to adapt, to improvise, to find new ways to do ordinary things. And yet, nothing could have prepared her for the moment she found out she was pregnant at 22. I remember staring at the test and thinking, how am I going to do this? How can I raise a child with only one functioning hand? Cassidy recalls. Fear gripped her, not for her life, but for the life of her unborn son. Her fiancé Liam was by her side, his support unwavering. But even he couldn't fully erase the worry gnawing at her. Cassidy wondered if her son would miss out on the joys of a mother who could fully lift, hold, or play with him. Her childhood had been full of adjustments, but the thought of motherhood brought a new kind of anxiety. She imagined struggling to bathe a tiny baby, to change diapers, to hold him close without putting herself in pain. Cassidy's mother became her anchor. "You've handled more with one hand than most people do with two," she said. "This is just another challenge. You'll figure it out." The words gave Cassidy a flicker of hope, but nothing could prepare her for the reality of the first few weeks after the birth. On April 15th, 2024, her son, Lucas, was born, and Cassidy felt both elation and terror. "I kept thinking, he's here, and I don't even know how to hold him properly," Cassidy admits. The hospital room felt like a battlefield. Every tiny movement required strategy, patience, and sometimes tears. The first days were the hardest. Cassidy could barely sit up without help, and diaper changes seemed impossible. Bathing Lucas? That felt like climbing a mountain. Thankfully, Liam and her mother were there, lending hands and lifting spirits. Even with support, guilt weighed heavily. She felt she was failing in the small, intimate ways every new mother fears. Rocking the baby just right, giving him a proper hug, or playing on the floor. But slowly, Cassidy discovered her own rhythm. After a month, she could hold Lucas for short stretches. By 2 months, she could change him into simple outfits without help. And at 3 months, she was bathing him, learning how to care for her son in ways she had once doubted were possible. Lucas, even as a baby, seemed to understand her limitations and adapt along with her. He watched her sweep, dress, and do everything with her left hand, mimicking her movements with a curiosity that made Cassidy smile despite the exhaustion. This journey, as terrifying as it was, sparked something new in Cassidy. She realized that her struggles were not just obstacles, but lessons. Lessons that could help other parents with disabilities. And that's exactly what she decided to do. Cassidy started a platform called Moms in Motion, a space for parents with disabilities to share tips, encouragement, and stories of triumph. Her story is only beginning, and it's filled with determination, love, and moments that will make you hold your breath and cheer. If you're inspired by Cassidy's courage, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. When Lucas was just a few weeks old, Cassidy realized that motherhood was nothing like she had imagined. The tiny cries, the endless diaper changes, the sleepless nights. Each moment tested her in ways no therapy or training could have prepared her for. She remembers the first time she tried to lift him from his crib. Her left hand trembled under his weight, and for a moment, fear took over. What if she dropped him? What if she couldn't keep up? The thoughts raced in her mind faster than she could catch. But then she felt his little hand grip her finger, and everything changed. That tiny connection, so fragile yet so strong, reminded her that even with limits, she could nurture, protect, and love. The first month at home was the toughest. Some days, Cassidy could barely get out of bed because of the chronic pain that came with her cerebral palsy. Liam took the lead with the feedings and diaper changes, but Cassidy felt an ache deep inside, a mix of guilt and longing to do everything herself. She started experimenting with different ways to handle Lucas, turning everyday tasks into challenges to overcome. Changing diapers became a skillful maneuver, feeding, a delicate balance of support and patience, bathing him, a test of timing and coordination. Slowly, the fear that had gripped her during pregnancy started to fade. She discovered small victories, being able to rock him to sleep with one hand, dressing him in the cutest outfits, and even taking him on walks around their neighborhood. Each tiny win was a triumph over doubt, over fear, over the invisible limits she had imagined for herself. Cassidy's determination didn't stop there. She wanted to make sure Lucas saw her as more than her disability, as more than the limitations she carried. So she made it a game, turning chores into playful lessons, showing him how to adapt, how to be creative, how to solve problems with patience. Lucas began to mirror her, reaching for toys with his left hand just like she used hers, copying her movements as if saying, "I can do this too, Mom." And in those moments, Cassidy felt a surge of pride stronger than anything she had experienced in her life. Despite the joy, there were moments of heartbreak. There were nights she cried silently, worried that she wasn't doing enough, that she was failing him in ways no one could see. But each tear became fuel, each struggle a reminder that resilience wasn't about perfection. It was about persistence. This journey led Cassidy to start sharing her story online. On her social media, she showed not just the highlights, but the raw reality, the frustrations, the setbacks, the little victories that make motherhood so unpredictable. And the response was incredible. Parents from around the world reached out, thanking her for showing that limitations don't define love, that disability doesn't mean inability. Her story became a beacon for others, a source of hope and inspiration. If you're watching this and feeling inspired by Cassidy's courage, make sure to smash that like button and share this video. Let's spread the message that no obstacle is too big when love and determination lead the way. The challenges weren't over though. Cassidy faced every new milestone. Lucas rolling over, crawling, taking his first steps, with a mixture of fear and excitement. Each stage demanded more from her physically, more creativity, more patience, but also brought immeasurable joy. Through it all, Cassidy realized something profound. Motherhood was not about doing everything perfectly. It was about showing up, about trying, about being present even when the odds seemed stacked against her. Her journey with Lucas was teaching her lessons she never imagined. Lessons not just about parenting, but about resilience, hope, and the strength that comes from facing fears head-on. And as Lucas grew, so did Cassidy's confidence. So did her vision for a world where parents with disabilities felt seen, supported, and empowered. As Lucas approached his first birthday, Cassidy began to notice something extraordinary. Every day, she watched him learn, grow, and imitate her movements. as if he understood the challenges she had overcome. He would reach for toys the same way she used her left hand, sometimes pausing to look up at her with those big, trusting eyes. Like he was saying, "I see you, Mom. I can do this too." Those moments filled Cassidy with a mix of awe and relief, a quiet. But motherhood wasn't all heartwarming milestones. Cassidy still faced the physical pain from her cerebral palsy, and some days were a battle just to move. There were mornings when she woke up unable to lift her arm without grimacing. Mornings when holding Lucas even for a minute seemed impossible. In those moments, guilt tried to creep back in, whispering that she wasn't enough. But she learned to fight it, to remember how far she had come, and to rely on the support system she had built. Liam, her mother, and a growing community online that cheered her on with every post. It was during one particularly rough week that Cassidy had a revelation. Lucas had spilled his milk and giggled at the mess. And instead of panicking, Cassidy laughed, improvised with one hand, and let him help clean up. She realized then that motherhood wasn't about perfection. It was about presence, creativity, and resilience. That insight sparked a new chapter in her life. Cassidy decided to use her experiences to create something bigger than herself, a platform where parents with disabilities could connect, share advice, and feel empowered. She called it Moms in Motion, a community for moms navigating the unique challenges of raising children while living with disabilities. The response was overwhelming. Parents from across Canada and even internationally shared their stories, their fears, and their triumphs. Cassidy read each message with tears in her eyes, realizing that by sharing her journey, she was giving others permission to try, to stumble, and to succeed. But the emotional highs were paired with challenging lows. There were days when Lucas cried for hours, and Cassidy's chronic pain made even the simplest care routine a Herculean task. There were moments when she worried she couldn't keep up, when she doubted whether her body could handle the demands of motherhood. Yet each obstacle became an opportunity for ingenuity. Cassidy rigged clever ways to bathe Lucas safely with one hand, to feed him while sitting down, and even to take him on stroller walks across uneven sidewalks without losing balance. Every small victory built her confidence. Every challenge strengthened her bond with her son. And Lucas was thriving. By 15 months, he was walking, exploring, and mimicking his mother's movements in ways that amazed Cassidy. She realized that her resilience wasn't just helping her, it was shaping him too, teaching him that obstacles could be met with courage, creativity, and determination. Amid the daily struggles and triumphs, Cassidy never lost sight of the bigger picture. She began speaking publicly about disability and motherhood, sharing her story at local events, on social media, and even in interviews, hoping to inspire others. Her journey became more than just a personal state, it became a movement. Parents with disabilities began reaching out, seeking guidance and support, and Cassidy's voice became a beacon, showing them that their dreams of parenthood were valid and achievable. And through it all, the love between Cassidy and Lucas grew deeper every day. Every hug, every shared laugh, every milestone. They were proof that limitations could never define the bond between mother and child. If you're inspired by Cassidy's story so far, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with someone who might need encouragement today. Her journey is a reminder that love, resilience, and determination can overcome even the hardest challenges. Even as Cassidy's confidence grew, she knew the journey wasn't finished. Motherhood was a constant learning process, full of surprises, setbacks, and incredible breakthroughs. And Lucas, ever curious and energetic, continued to teach her just as much as she taught him day by day, hand by hand, heart by heart. As Lucas turned 2, Cassidy realized something remarkable. The fears that had haunted her during pregnancy had faded, replaced by pride, joy, and an unwavering confidence in herself. Every challenge she had faced, the sleepless nights, the chronic pain, the moments of doubt, had shaped her into the mother she was today. She watched Lucas toddle across the living room, imitating her movements with one hand, and her heart swelled. Each small step he took was a reflection of her perseverance, her creativity, and the example she had set for him from the very beginning. Motherhood, Cassidy discovered, wasn't about doing everything perfectly. It was about showing up, giving your best, and never giving up, even when the path seemed impossible. And in those moments, Lucas reminded her that love and determination could overcome any obstacle. The journey had also opened new doors for Cassidy beyond her family. Her platform, Moms in Motion, had grown into a vibrant community where parents shared stories, tips, and encouragement. Messages poured in from mothers and fathers from all over, thanking her for showing that limitations don't define capability. Cassidy began attending conferences and speaking engagements, telling her story to inspire others. She spoke about resilience, adaptation, and the importance of self-belief, and audiences often came up to hug her afterward, tears in their eyes, sharing how her story had given them hope. But the most powerful moments remained in her home, in the quiet, tender interactions with Lucas. She remembered the first time he called her Mama clearly, the way he would reach for her hand, and the laughter that filled their tiny apartment during playtime. These were the victories no one could measure, the triumphs of heart over hardship. Even the setbacks became lessons. When Cassidy struggled to keep up physically, she learned to ask for help without guilt, to rely on Liam, on her mother, on the friends and community who supported her. She discovered that strength isn't always about doing everything alone. It's about building a network that lifts you up. And Lucas, perceptive and loving, seemed to understand. He watched her adapt, innovate, and persevere, and in doing so, learned resilience, patience, and empathy, the most powerful lessons a parent can teach. Cassidy realized that her journey, once filled with doubt, had become a living example of courage and determination. Through all the challenges, Cassidy's message became clear. No limitation can define your worth, your potential, or your love. She wanted every parent, every mother and father who faced obstacles to see her story and know, you can do this too. Her experience also sparked a personal revelation. She realized that disability was not a barrier, but a perspective, a way to approach life creatively, to adapt, to find new solutions, and to teach those lessons to the next generation. Her bond with Lucas had become a testament to that truth. And so, Cassidy's story continues, not as a tale of struggle alone, but as a story of triumph, love, and resilience. She looks forward to each new day with Lucas, knowing that together they can face anything. The moral of Cassidy's journey is simple, yet profound. Life will test you, but your courage, your adaptability, and your love will always guide you through. No challenge is too great, no obstacle insurmountable when you approach it with heart, determination, and the unwavering belief in yourself. If you've been inspired by Cassidy's incredible journey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Share this story with someone who needs encouragement today, and remember, no matter the obstacles, resilience and love will always find a way.